Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope that you guys had a good weekend and that you had a good Monday as well. Of course, we weren't live streaming on Saturday night because it was my birthday. And thank you guys for all of the birthday wishes ahead of the weekend from last week's stream on Tuesday, but then also on Friday night because we had a stream then. And yeah, I didn't do anything on Saturday in terms of answering messages and emails and that kind of stuff, so I have been catching up with those over the last couple of days. But I did go over to my sister's house and we had pizza, which was great, and yeah, some cookie cake, and it was actually a lot more energetic than I was predicting, because I suppose I should have predicted that going around to my sister's house, it means that my nephews want to play football, and we probably played football for about an hour before dinner and then maybe half an hour afterwards. So luckily my legs have survived, because I thought the amount of running I was doing, I thought my legs might not be used to this or be able to cope with it, but they just about survived, and it meant that I was burning off calories from the pizza and cookie cake. So that was all good. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight on this live stream. We are going to be doing things as we normally do, which means, to begin with, I get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are, and their names go across the bottom of the stream throughout the Tuesday live streams and Saturday live streams. So thank you guys, the foundation of everything that I do and the reason that you're even watching this in the first place. So yeah, a big shout out to these people. And let me give a shout out to you guys in the live chat room tonight. We have Ruth, Karen, Melody, Rocks, Billy, Christian, Joe, Charlotte, Laurie, Debbie, Billy, Bob, Diamond Girl, Cindy, Sue, Momo, Corey, Ninja, Kitty, Barbara, Christian, PM112, Angela, it's going through too quickly now, Bridget in there as well, Armchair Observer. Hello, thank you for joining me, all you guys, in the live chat room tonight. And as always, we're going to be aiming for a likes goal. Tuesday night is set at 420. I've lost track of where we are with the likes and what it was last time and what it is this time, but it is 420 this time. So like it or lump it, that's what we're going to be aiming for. So if you could hit a thumbs up or give a thumbs up as you come through the door to the live stream, that would be very much appreciated. And if we hit the target for tonight, we're having Phil Jam number 226, I think. It's too small on my screen to be able to see it clearly, but yeah, I think that's where we are at, and I remember changing that before we went live, so that's fine. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the likeometer as well. Let's get that up on screen because we're over halfway already. So yeah, maybe we can get a bit of a spike of the lights going on. And tonight we have a vote for the cover video as always, and it's between All Right Now and I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. And yeah, I always forget what the option is, or at least the one that isn't in the lead, because I can see All Right Now is in the lead with 59% of the vote. So if you want to hear I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, then vote for that at the top of the live chat room. Another thing to mention, and just while I get the donations tab up on screen, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. And for the people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But you don't have to donate. And on the subject of donations, right at the end of the last live stream, there was a donation from Jan, which came through just as I was signing off, or I had signed off, and then it popped up. So thank you for that. I thought I'd just give that a quick shout out. Yeah, because that happened right at the end of the last live stream. So we have had some donations in the super chat window, so thank you guys for these, and I will get through the donations over on PayPal as well. We'll start with the super chat window because Paul has donated $5, so thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, let's have fun tonight and spike those likes, all y'all. Catch up crew for me. Rock. So thank you for that, Paul. And Karen has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, greetings from beautiful Sacramento, California. Phil, what was your favourite birthday and / or gift and why? Thank you for that donation. My favourite birthday. I'm trying to think because I don't know. There must be one that stands out, but it's just much of a sameness each year. So it's yeah. I'm not one for big celebrations and things. Even back at my 40th, what happened then? I'm trying to remember what happened back then. I can't remember, but I think it might have just been Chinese, just eating Chinese. So yeah, that was that. Now my 21st birthday, that's when I got some golf clubs, which was great. So that was quite a big present for me. So yeah, that was good. But yeah, other than that, I can't really think of anything else. Like the birthdays are just the same kind of thing. And generally, in terms of, well, there you go. There's a gift as well. So favourite gift would be, but then again, I think I got my first guitar, a Tanglewood Nevada. That was a birthday present, so that was pretty good. And yeah, because my Fender Strat, it wasn't really a birthday thing. It was just seeing it in a shop kind of thing. And it might have been rolled into maybe part of a birthday present as well in order to be able to get it. But yeah, so I'd go, either my first guitar or the golf clubs age 21. So there you go. Those are just two that stand out, because generally what we say to each other is, don't worry about getting a gift, just give me the money equivalent. So then obviously you can buy something that you want in the future, because you can't necessarily think of something that you want. I did get a capo. There you go. So that was something I got this birthday. So I got a capo. So that was the big birthday gift for me this year. So there you go. And if you don't know what a capo is, it's something that you put on your guitar in order to play in different keys. It's more of an acoustic thing. So I don't need one necessarily unless I'm showing something on the guitar or teaching something or learning to play something. Not that I sit down and learn pieces, but yeah, just to have one just in case. So there we go. Because my other one is a bit old school, where you have to screw it in, which is quite good sometimes. Rather than it being spring loaded, being able to screw it onto the guitar, it's something that can't really go wrong because it's a manual thing. Whereas when you're using one that's got springs in it, my previous two, the springs have gone in them, and it means that it doesn't keep its tension, and then you have to get a new one. But I got a new one, so that's all good. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And Orlando's donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, a late birthday wish from Ginny White. Hit that like button with a thumbs up. So thank you for that, Orlando, and for passing that on from Ginny. So thank you for the birthday wishes. Right, we will just jump over into the PayPal window over here, because we had a donation from Tanya. So thank you for this, Tanya, and it's for £14.60. And the message was, I missed the live stream since I was traveling to California. I hope you have an amazing birthday. So thank you for that. And that would have been, that was on Saturday, early Saturday morning. So thank you for that, Tanya. And Wanda has donated £20. Thank you for that. The message is, happy birthday, Phil. Thank you for the musical education. So thank you for watching. And there's been another donation, £20 from Robert. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. And then John has donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, John. Another straight up donation. And Stephen has donated £10 as well. So thank you for that, Stephen. And that's another straight up donation. And Cindy has donated £50. So thank you for that, Cindy. And that's another straight up donation. So how many is this in a row that we've had straight up donations? But thank you for that. And then Nicole's donated £12. And there is a message with this one. And thank you for that. And the message is, hello, Phil. You have one more year, but the times is your friend. Times has not damaged your youth. Surely worthy of your good lifestyle. Non-drink, no smoke. An example to follow. Good rock and kiss. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's got something to do with it. Not drinking alcohol, but not just, through trying to be really healthy. It's just because I don't like the taste of alcohol. So, and then smoking, same thing, and never really got into that. I guess because I was into sports when I was younger and played a lot of football, and I was trying to be as fit as I could be, then yeah, smoking didn't really fit into that equation. So yeah, smoking, I guess drinking didn't either, but I just didn't like the taste of alcohol. So yeah, I was never going to get into that. But thank you for that, Nicole. And Debbie has donated £10. Thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, I hope you enjoyed your birthday week. Saturday wasn't the same without you. Thanks for all you do. You're the best. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Sue donated £20 as well. So thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, just because, have a great week. So thank you. And we are now up to date in the PayPal window and the Super Chat window. So what have we got going on this week? We've got a video tomorrow night, of course, but then we've got the Jeff Scott Soto interview on Thursday. So I was going to say look out for that, but it's not going to be on the channel on Thursday. I'm just going to be chatting with Jeff about all things music, I guess, and singing. We've just said that we'll have a chat, so we don't really have anything. I suppose the thing is, Jeff is an authentic vocalist, and he's one of the featured artists on Authentic Vocal. So I've spoken to him about that in the past and analysing his performance with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So I think we'll probably talk about that, about his singing and being authentic and singing live and all that kind of stuff, and not post-producing his voice or using pitch correction or auto-tune. So probably talk about that. But I mean, as Jeff said, the problem is that we could be talking for about 6 hours. Because even just on Instagram, we were talking for ages just with messages. Because I think we've got a similar kind of point of view on the music industry and singing. And yeah, we were chatting for a very long time just through messages. So yeah, I don't know how it's going to work in an interview type situation, but we'll just have a chat. And I'll try and edit it down to a video that doesn't go on for 6 hours, but I'll try and edit it down to a normal kind of length video. But it is something that's going to be entirely relevant for the Authentic Vocal page and the YouTube channel. So yeah, most likely I'll release it over there, and I'll probably release it on the channel here as well. Or then I suppose there could be two slightly different edits from one channel to the next, because obviously over on Authentic Vocal that will be focusing on the Authentic Vocal aspect of it. But yeah, so looking forward to having a chat with Jeff on Thursday. And yeah, Friday will be normal video. Saturday night we're going to be live streaming because it's not my birthday anymore. And then Sunday we'll have a video as well. So as always, if you guys want to stay in the loop, head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and you can join there for free. You don't need to become a patron or anything. So yeah, I keep people up to date as to what's going on over there. So as soon as I've recorded that interview and edited it, or at least got it ready for upload to the YouTube channel, I'll let you guys know over on Patreon. That's always the place to go to get the news as and when it happens. So I do know that recently I've said that if you tune into the live streams on YouTube, sometimes because of having the Authentic Vocal Project as well, if something pops up, I'll mention it on the live streams as well to keep everybody in the loop, because sometimes it's just easier to mention it if something has happened, you know, relatively recently and I'm just live streaming anyway, then I will mention it, of course. So I can see there has been another donation in the PayPal window. So thank you guys for the donations. You don't have to donate, of course, but it is very much appreciated. And Lisa W has donated £5. Thank you for that. And Lisa says, hi Phil, what are your, that's supposed to say, thoughts on Rory's big win? So thank you for that, Lisa. And yes, Rory McIlroy won the Masters, and this is the only golf competition really that I watch, or that my family have a history of watching, even though sometimes I do catch some of the other tournaments, you know, maybe the US Open, but I don't generally have too much time to sit down and watch golf. Playing golf takes a very long time, and watching golf takes a very long time, because if they're going round for 3 or 4 hours, you're watching it for that amount of time. So yeah, I did keep up with how Rory was doing on his first round, the second round. What did he do on the second round? I can't remember, but the third round he did really well. Maybe the second round he was just steadying the ship, because the first round he did really well, and in the last couple of holes, yeah, I think I said that he then lost 4 shots, is the kind of thing that I'm very good at doing, when I used to play. So the final round, I think he had a lead of 2 shots, and he unfortunately he threw it away on, I think, the first 2 holes. But so then it was even with Bryson DeChambeau, and yeah, I mean, it was very tense watching it the whole way through, because it's something that, again, I can pause it, and I don't know whether people have this in different countries, but it's called Sky, so you can pause the actual live feed, and then you can fast forward. So it means that I can pause it, get on with, you know, doing what I'm doing, and especially on Sunday I was trying to catch up with everything from Saturday, so just doing what I'm doing, and then I can watch one of Rory's shots, and then I can fast forward it to see what else happens very quickly, like people walking around like in fast motion hitting putts and things. But then when it gets to Rory again, then I can play it, and then he hits it shot, and then I fast forward it, and then obviously he has to walk to his ball, so it means that if you're not interested in watching anybody else, you could just fast forward it, and it really does cut down the amount of time it takes to watch, because effectively you're just watching somebody do a shot, which doesn't take any time at all. It's all of the waiting in between that takes a long time. So anyway, yes, long story short, on the last hole he had a putt to win, and he missed it, and I thought, I couldn't believe it, because I thought, well, that's all you want, really. It is an opportunity to win. Like if you said to him on the first day, right, do you want to do 4 days worth of golf, or I'll give you this, what was it, maybe a 5 or 6 foot putt, I'll give you this putt to win. You know, what do you want to do? He'd obviously say, well, I'll just take this putt, please. But then he missed it. So it went to a playoff with Justin Rose, and somehow, Rory hit the drive pretty much exactly where he hit it, because they're now playing the 18th, the same hole he's just played, but again. So because he hit it in exactly the same place pretty much as the first time he played the hole, it meant that now, rather than messing up the second shot like he did, and that's why it was a bit of a pain trying to get this putt, because he had to come out the bunker, he just played a really good shot, really close to the pin, and then he got it. So he finally did it. And yeah, you could tell that everyone was relieved. Even I was relieved for him, because everyone was always going on about winning the Grand Slam and being, I think now, the 6th person ever in golf to have won all of the majors. And yeah, when you think about it, that's pretty good. That only 6 people have done it in the whole of the game of golf. So, and there are lots of people who are constantly trying to do that. So yeah, it is good that his name will go down in history, and that he's finally got that monkey off his back. Yeah, as we say here. And I mean, it must be great now for him, because I think that was the one thing that he always had, that people said, oh yeah, he's done this, he's done that, but he hasn't done that. And, you know, people might say, you know, that he bottled it and he couldn't. When I say that, I mean, like, the nerves got the better of him, and he couldn't do it and all that kind of stuff. So it must be great for him now to have done it, because now, when you think, well, if he was to retire now, you'd say, well, yeah, but he's one of the 6 people who've done the Grand Slam, and his name has gone down in history. So you think, well, that's pretty good. So now I get the impression that playing on and doing tournaments from now on, everything's a bonus, because he's done the hardest thing. You know, and even I'm talking to Nick Faldo afterwards on the discussion panel. Even though Nick Faldo, I think, has more majors, Nick said, well, what Rory has achieved, it supersedes what he did, because he didn't get all of them. He just won, you know, maybe one of them maybe 3 times, but winning each one of them once is like the hardest thing, because it's, I think, very much different conditions in each of those. So you have different course conditions. Like, I think St Andrews is 1 as well, if I remember correctly, which is, you know, potentially going to be in rain and wind and sleet, and you don't know what the weather's going to be like. So yeah, but that's what you get playing in the UK. But yeah, going back to the home of golf and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you need different skills to play at different, or to win different majors, and that's why it's so difficult to do all 4, because you need lots of skills. Good drive. And this is the thing about Rory, that he just smacks the drive, but then getting the rest of the game to be as effective is very difficult. But yeah, so he's done all of them. So congratulations to him. Right. Thank you for that, Lisa. So yeah, I think it's great, even though Justin is English. You know, I don't think I'm not too bothered about when somebody's trying to win at golf and they're from, you know, Ireland, or you know, Northern Ireland, you know, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, or from Wales, Scotland, England. I'm not really too bothered. I don't think, oh, I want this person to win because they're from England and the other person isn't from England. I just see it as a UK kind of thing. So yeah, anybody who wins, I'm happy for, and that generally goes for any golfer. You know, if Bryson won it, then, you know, I think that'd be great as well. I tend to be, I don't know, more of a fan of the sport, and the same with football, really. Even though I support Tottenham Hotspur here in England, you know, for my sins, but I tend to take that view of it, that yeah, I have favourites, but I'm a fan of the game. So if somebody plays the game really well and they win, then yeah, you take your hat off to them and say, well played, and you know, you can be happy for them, because this is the thing, everybody knows what it's like to win and everyone knows what it's like to lose. But then if the person you like or the team you like loses, then try and tap into what the feeling must be like for the people that won, because they're having a great time. So even though it's difficult sometimes. But thank you for that, Lisa. And Leslie has donated £50 as well. Thank you for that, Leslie. And the message is, hi Phil, hope you had a fantastic birthday day. Can you demonstrate playing with ghost notes and playing without? So thank you for that, Leslie. Right, we might have to bust out the guitar. Oh, and I can just skip this advert. I hope I can skip that advert. Right, so we have skipped that, and I can see behind me that the Strat is plugged in, so we'll grab this mic on just for a little while. Okay, right. So, ghost notes are, I mean, pretty much what they sound like. So they're notes that exist, but they're a little bit see-through. But no, so say for example, I was we'll keep this in E to keep it nice and easy. So if I went now, what I was playing there is I was playing a very distinct run. So if I'm going get in tune. So now if I went these tiny notes that you can hear. So now rather than going and having a very distinct, if I'm going, hopefully you can hear. I mean, it's sometimes not even really fretting the note, but giving you a note that is, it's not there, but it is there. So it's something that is like an expression kind of thing. So rather than being really strict, you can have the so hopefully you can still kind of make out the run that I'm doing, but I'm not going like that. I'm kind of to the point where sometimes you might not, like there on that little rundown, you might not even hear the note, but sometimes your brain, if you know what the run is and the riff is, your brain will fill in those gaps. So you've got all of these kind of ghost notes that happen within different runs and sometimes in solos, and it's more of a feel thing really. So when you're trying to get into that, you're hitting the strings. Obviously I'm palm muting here like that. If I'm now not palm muting and all I'm doing there is bringing the fleshy part of my hand like up onto, like here, it's not touching. If I bring this right hand closer, like from the bridge now onto the strings, and you can kind of feel on the side of your hand where the strings and the bridge meet, so that you can get at that point, and then you can experiment with moving the hand up. And if you keep on moving up, you'll find that, oh, I'm losing the note now. Here's the E. And now the E's not there anymore. And you might be able to hear that because I'm shortening the distance between my hand and the headstock, or where the string ends, you might hear it actually kind of ascending in pitch a little bit. So yeah, you don't necessarily want that. But that's it. So you've kind of, if I'm playing through, let's change the key to A. If I went, all of that kind of, it's all just kind of expression with the right hand, so that you're not really necessarily playing anything really strictly. You're just going with a groove, and you've got little notes in there that are in there, but then they're not in there. So you've got to kind of more get yourself into the groove and the feel of playing something, rather than saying, right, that was that, and then a little one that isn't there, and then another one that is a little bit there, and then not there, and then another one that's palm muting. You don't want to do that. You just want to get into kind of like that. So hopefully that explains it. So there are notes that are there, but they're kind of not there, but they are there really. And sometimes actually they aren't there, but your brain fills in the gaps, and then try and hang this up without breaking everything. Notes that technically aren't really there, but your brain fills in the gaps, and therefore these ghosts appear. So anyway, there we have it. Right, let me turn off that so it doesn't echo too much. So that was Ghost Notes. Hopefully it makes sense. But obviously that's something that you can have on guitar, but also in other instruments as well. There'll be something that might just be in there a little bit, but it's not quite in there, and it's just very much in the background. So Melody Rock says timing is also important with Ghost Notes. Yes, indeed. That's it. You want to kind of, especially on guitar, keep that rhythm going, and it's just filling in space. Really, that's all that's happening. Is you're playing a particular riff and keeping a groove and giving it sometimes a bit of a percussive element, so that you're hearing the beat of what you're playing, or simulating the beat or the percussive sound of the drums or the snare or a hi-hat or something, just keeping that timing going while you're playing the guitar. So thank you for that. Right. Daniel has donated £3, so thank you for that. And the message is aka missing links with a Z. As vinyl record collector, if you have time, could share your opinion whether analog is truly achievable, please. So thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, I used to listen to, obviously, my dad's vinyl collection, all the records that he had, and yeah, that's what I knew from a kid, putting the record on and being careful with the needle, try not to scratch everything and wreck everything. But yeah, and I don't know, it's very difficult, because now, of course, when you're buying, or when I guess the younger generation are buying records and vinyls, they are buying the digital representation of the recording put onto vinyl. So it means that you're still listening to a digital recording, but it's just been put on a record like back in the day. It hasn't been recorded on tape. And that's how it used to work back in the day. So yeah, so it's very much changed as to what's being put onto the record, whether it's going from, because I know that people will argue that using tape has that warmer, more middly sound than digital, which is maybe a bit more top endy and doesn't have that warmth to it and all. But again, this is all and now you can even get emulators and things that will try and put that on the sound, and it will EQ your recording to try and make it sound like it was recorded on tape when it was recorded digitally. So yeah, you've got lots of different things that can simulate sounds of amps, for example, from the 1960s, 1970s, but it's all digital, but they're simulating the sound. So yeah, similar thing with recording and plugins that have been designed to try and achieve that. So it's very difficult, but it's so subjective. And because by the time I was 19, when I first started recording and started experimenting with production, we're talking about when would that have been? It's like 2002, 2001, 2002. I think I was actually probably tinkering before that, maybe around the year 2000, 2001. But anyway, yeah, because all I've known really is digital, then yeah, I can't really relate too much or say that I've got too much experience in recording on tape and then transferring that to vinyl and then the sound that vinyl gives it. And yeah, it's very difficult because I think that it's going to be a combination of the two, the recording on tape and then that process of creating a record from the tape. So now we're listening to the vinyl and then putting a digital signal onto vinyl. Yeah, for me, you know, it's going to be very difficult, because now we're trying to simulate the same process rather than actually doing the same process. So I think there's, you know, if you've got a sensitive ear, there's always going to be a difference. You're always going to be able to hear a little bit of a difference between the two. But yeah, I mean, asking whether analog is truly achievable, yeah, well, I don't know. I think you'd have to go back to analog days. And I think that's the thing, that if you go back to what, 1960s, 1970s, things, even late 70s, early 80s, things started to go more towards now, you know, synthesizers and instruments that were very much more A440 tuning and not really relying on the human element of being slightly sharp, slightly flat. But then, you know, talking about 80s and dance music and all that stuff is all very much electronic at that point. So then moving into digital recording from then on, and then into the 90s very much made that switch over. Then into the 2000s. Yeah, I think you'd have to go back kind of 40 or 50 years in order to, or you'd just have to use the same equipment and record on tape. But the reason that it's not done anymore is because it just takes longer, and you know, nowadays people can be corrected digitally, whereas on tape, if you're trying to correct someone, it was a whole different ball game and very difficult. And this is why, yeah, there weren't as many safety nets back in the day. All you could do is speed up and slow down tape. If somebody was a little bit flat, you then sped up the tape in order to now make it on pitch. But if you're now talking about editing vocals in the way that they're edited nowadays, if you imagine you're speeding up the tape to get somebody's vocal higher, what if the next note, they actually sang it on key? It means that that next note will now be too sharp. So you'd have to take that bit of tape and then slow down that tape in order to get it now to not be the same as where this note has been raised, and bring it down. So this is why it was an absolute nightmare. And of course, back in the day as well, editing tape, they used to cut the tape, and you might have seen it where they've like got a scalpel and they're cutting out a bit of tape, because that's the bit of tape that they want, because they want to use that on this chorus over here. So they take that bit of tape out and they put it on the other tape, and they have to stick it on the tape and then not hear the cut. So that yeah, I mean, it's just an art form in itself, just doing the editing and trying to achieve that. So yeah, nowadays that you can literally on screen pick scissors, cut, drag it over, and it's done. So yeah, I'm not surprised it all went to digital, because it means that yeah, you can do a lot more editing, and the initial takes don't have to be that good. You can edit them to sound like they were something that they actually weren't. But anyway, thank you for that, Daniel. But yeah, it's not something that I have a lot of experience in or with, you know, talking about going back to analog, because I've only ever really recorded digitally myself. But thank you for that. And oh, hang on, what have we got going on here? Oh, right, I just went backwards, and then I think I went backwards to Leslie's donation before that. But thank you for that, Daniel. Right, now where are we at with the likeometer? 375 likes at the moment. So if you could hit that thumbs up, if you haven't done that already, that would be very much appreciated, because we're going to be aiming for 420 tonight. And if we hit that target, it means that we are going to be having a Phil Jam, and it's going to be Phil Jam number 226, I do believe. So we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, we just have a little bit of a jump there, which is good. So, oh, now that's weird. So I saw it jump on one screen, and then it was still the old number on the other screen. Okay, so my screens are a little bit out of sync with each other. I'm just going to have to deal with that. So, yeah, hopefully we can make it. Let's do some maths. So we're looking for what, 33 more people to hit the thumbs up before the end of the live stream. And we are at midnight. So we've still got a little bit of time. What? Maybe half an hour of the live stream left. So we will be having the cover video as always. We have a picture in Picture Corner. Do we have Troll Corner? We might have Troll Corner because, yeah, I've been answering a few messages today, but also kind of one in particular where, I occasionally make videos where I'm trying to explain as clearly as possible maybe a previous video that I've made, because some people have maybe commented and not quite understood what I'm saying. So I then make a follow-up video, and unfortunately, even with the follow-up video, some people still don't really understand, or they can't take in what I'm saying. So yeah, we might jump into Troll Corner just to address one of those things. So we are maybe gonna jump into the cover video. It would be a little bit early to get into it for tonight, but it's all right now. There is in the lead with 55% of the vote. So Diamond Girl says, let's talk about bears. I don't know what that is to do with, but yeah, thank you for that. What I will say about bears is give them a wide berth if you ever see a bear. You don't really want to be getting involved with one because they're dangerous and they're big, especially I think it's the brown bears that are the ones that are more, I was going to say violent, but they have more of a propensity to maybe attack humans. I say attack. It's generally when they're really, really hungry. And that goes for most animals. When they're really, really hungry, I think they'll just try and eat anything because it's either that or die. So, I mean, humans are the same. If you're really, really hungry, yeah, you're looking for anything to eat. So, yeah, maybe they're more territorial. I don't know. But then especially they say female bears with young, and they're protecting their young. And this is the case that if you are out there walking around, I wouldn't be out there in the first place. So I don't foresee me running into a bear anytime soon. But for the outdoors adventure people who might like walking out in the wild, I think it's important to understand that, yeah, it is the wild. So animals don't know about humans having rules where they say, oh no, don't attack, because that's not the done thing. Animals don't really keep up to date with all that. So I'd say, yeah, if you are one of these people that likes to get out there and walk around in the wild, be careful. And remember there's like a bear spray that you can get, and I think there's also like a flare gun or something that makes a very loud noise. And the only reason I know this is because of the Alone show that I watched, where, yeah, people are camping and there were bears that would obviously try and suss out what was going on, especially if they could smell that there's some food that these humans have been catching and eating. So, yeah, I remember that one person had the gun and they fired it, and the bear just looked at them, so it wasn't bothered at all. Luckily, yeah, the bear kind of just lost interest, because I don't think that they're going to attack unless it is a bit of an extreme situation. But yeah, I think that the top tip is don't run away, because every animal has got the chase response. Like whenever it's looking like, I think if a bear sees a human, it might not have seen many humans. So it thinks, well, what is this animal? As we would think, if we see something that we've never seen before, you'd think, well, what is that animal? I'm not sure about it. I'm not going to attack it until I know that I'm stronger than it. So if that animal starts running away, then it gives the signal that, yeah, I'm not as strong as you, so I'm running away for my life because I think you're going to kill me because I'm weak. Whereas, yeah, if you just stand there and, if anything, encroach a little bit on the bear, and this is it, that some of the contestants actually try to catch or hunt the bears, and in those cases, because the human, or the contestant, was sneaking around trying to get closer to the bear, as soon as the bear saw the human, it ran off, because it thought, oh, I'm being hunted by something. So it's kind of, yeah, getting the bear to have that mindset that you're not scared of it, and that you might want to eat it, and then the bear will run off. So that's always ideal. But as long as you've got your bear spray, which is, I guess, like a pepper spray for bears, that's always going to help. You just got to hope that it works. I always think this when I was watching the show. I thought, imagine you pull the trigger on your flare gun thing and nothing happens. So then you think, well, it's all right because I got my spray, and then nothing comes out of the spray. Yeah, that's when you're going to have a bit of a problem. And then if you've got like an axe, I always thought, well, what if you miss with your first swipe? A bear is probably going to be able to pin you. They weigh a little bit more than a human, just a little bit. So anyway, there you go. I don't know how we got into that, talking about bears and things. But it was a comment in the live chat room. So Rocket Girl says, love hair talks. I'm talking about bears, not hairs. So there we go. Or a bear, not a hare. Chat. Right. There has been another donation, and Luke has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Luke. And the message is, will you ever do a collaboration with Rick Beato? You two align on a number of topics and angles regarding the music industry. So thank you for that. And I don't know. I mean, I never say never. I know that Steve Lukather mentioned my channel while he was being interviewed by Rick recently. So yeah, I mean, that was great to be kind of brought up in that conversation. And yeah, I've had contact with Rick probably a few years ago now, actually, with copyright and all that kind of stuff, because he was having similar issues with particular videos, and Michael Palmarzano as well, who I know is having particular issues. So we were just talking about that just via emails. So, you know, we all kind of forwarded them to each other. But then I had a particular video that was blocked by Studio Hamburg. And I then had a contact at Studio Hamburg who then released all the videos for use on my channel, but then not on any other YouTube channels. So yeah, I just said to Rick that if he had any problems with copyright blocks from Studio Hamburg to let me know, because then I can make sure that they get unblocked for his channel. So yeah, that was the contact that I had with him previously. Then I had another thing that I was doing, which was In at the Deep End, where you play a guitar solo over a backing that isn't pre-rehearsed, and you don't know what the backing is going to be. So like my fill jams that I now do, basically my fill jams are what the what that series was about, being in at the deep end, just playing over the top of something that you haven't heard before. But Rick said, there are other guitarists that are going to be more suitable. So yeah, unfortunately Rick didn't want to do that. But yeah, in terms of having a chat, yeah, I'm always open to have a chat with people on different channels, and especially when talking about, you know, the modern music industry. And there's so many pitfalls, unfortunately, to do with the music industry. And I get emails regularly, and I've had one recently from someone that I might make a video on, because they're a genuine recording artist and they've been tagged in songs as collaborators that they've never collaborated with this particular person. And they even said that they don't even think this is a person. They think this is someone using AI to promote an AI artist. And by saying that they've collaborated with this genuine artist, then they're getting more views, more listens. Because it's like, say for example, like me saying that I've done a collaboration with AC/DC, or Guns N' Roses, or Winger, or any other band that I haven't actually done a collaboration with, but then I use AI to make a song that sounds like it's a collaboration. I put that in the title, and I get, a few thousand, maybe a few 100,000 views, because everyone sees that as a collaboration. But all that's happened is that I've put hashtag, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Winger. I've put that in the video and titled it as collaboration with. So in terms of actually being truthful, we think, well, how can you stop somebody from doing that? So this is what this artist has messaged me with. And they've shown me the video, and it's clearly saying that it's a collaboration with the artist, but he's had nothing to do with it. So yeah, potentially using his name on AI music to get more views. So yeah, really dodgy now with AI and everything as to how to counteract all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to have to look into it in more detail, but by the looks of it, it's absolutely true that somebody can now use your reputation on music that you haven't worked on, and they've used AI. I mean, they might even use AI to get it to sound like you on the recording, when in fact you've had nothing to do with it. So yeah, it's a scary new world that we're entering into with regard to copyright and artists' sounds being used and having things that sound like their music, but it isn't actually their music, just AI is copying it. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Oh, Luke, yeah, I'm always open for chats on different channels. And Maltesers donated $4.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, hello, Phil. I must do my hair ambassador duty. Do you use conditioner? What brand? So thank you for that. And I didn't used to, but then I now do, just because of how knotted my hair used to get. And then I used conditioner and I realized, oh, hang on, this is helping quite a lot. So yeah, I do use conditioner. I don't actually know what it's called, but I use the shampoo and the conditioner, whatever it's called. So yeah, I'm not particularly good at paying attention with brand names and all that kind of stuff. But thank you for that. Diamond Girls donated $10 as well and says thank you. So thank you. And Maltesers donated $4.99. Think of that, Malteser. The message is that metal about an alien invasion? So thank you for that question. And I think it kind of might be, because it was really just a song that's, I wouldn't say a parody of 80s music and 80s videos, where everyone's topless and it's all a little bit outrageous, and yeah, the songs, in terms of having a parody of an 80s type song, it doesn't have to be too meaningful. Obviously there are loads of meaningful songs, but I'm saying if you're going to try and do a song that just sounds like 80s metal, then yeah, that's what the plan was with That's Metal to my ears in brackets. But yeah, I think it's a lot. If I had like a massive amount of money and loads of professional producers and things working on a video, and I could choose what the video would be, I think it would be something like aliens invading, because when it's the lyrics very much speak to that. Turn on your TV, something big's going down. The ground is shaking, the people are waking, the nightmare's just begun. It all works for an alien invasion. Whether it would be taken seriously or not, I don't know. Certainly because of just the style of the delivery. But again, this is it. That's metal too. That's metal to my. It doesn't really make any sense. But that's kind of the point. There's a bit tongue in cheek, just a bit of fun. So yeah, maybe they came down in spaceships that were metal, and lots of the parts of the spaceship were metal. So it's like that's metal, and that's metal too. And that's metal to my metal to my ears. Anyway, yeah, so it wasn't a necessarily deep song, just something that you can make it mean whatever you want it to mean. But there we go. So Elaine says TikTok time and has donated $2. So thank you for that. And oh yes, it is TikTok time. So we will, and I don't use TikTok, by the way. I'm not on that. But in terms of keeping organised for tonight's live stream, we'll jump into All Right Now, I do believe, 54% of the vote. So I hope you guys enjoy my version of this particular song. And I will see you guys after, the free, I always say about the band, the free classic, All Right Now. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock! she stood in the street, smiling from her head to her feet. I said, hey, what is this now, baby? Maybe she's in need of a kiss. I said, hey, what's your name, baby? Maybe we can see things the same. Now don't you wait or hesitate. Let's move before I raise the fucking rate. Alright now, baby, it's alright now. Alright now, baby, it's alright now. Let me tell you now. I took her home to my place, watching every move on her face. And she said, look, what's your game, baby? Are you trying to put me in shit? I said, slow, don't go so fast. Don't you think that love can last? And she said, love, Lord above. Now you're trying to trick me in love. Alright now, baby, it's alright now. Alright now, baby, it's alright now. And there we have it. That was my version of All Right Now. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner. And have we got time for Troll Corner? I'm not sure. Maybe we're really quick. The backing track is 7 minutes and 18 seconds. And we have hit the goal for tonight. So we will bust out the guitar and have a jam imminently. So let's jump into Picture Corner, see what's going on in there tonight. I'm not sure where this is going to display. Let's have a look. Oh, it's almost in the middle. I think that'll probably do, as we're in a bit of a rush. So this is Barbara who sent this in, so thank you for this. And Barbara says, went to Brew City Wrestling in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but thank you for this, Barbara. And this is Barbara with Tommy Trainwreck. So there you go. I don't follow wrestling, not at the moment. I used to watch it when I was a kid, but that was more as it was back then, the WWF, which then became WWE. So I don't know what Brew City Wrestling is, but thank you for sending that one in. And of course, you can see Barbara has the Wings Pegasus t-shirt on and the bucket hat and potentially the hoodie as well. But thank you for uploading that one, and that is it for Pitch Recorder tonight. So we'll get out of there, and if you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, there's a tray underneath this video, and that'll take you through to the spring.com store for bucket hats, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, tumblers, glasses, all that kind of stuff. Glasses that you drink out of, not ones that you wear. So thank you for linking me to that, Laura, over on Facebook. And let's jump into Troll Corner very quickly. And I was just skipping an advert that wanted to interrupt us. So, with a video that I made, and I mean, this is really dragging on now. I made a video on the Oscars performances, and I noticed that in the middle performance, it was Doja Cat, and she was singing consistently flat. And then I said, well, I think the reason for that is because of this, this, and this. And then some people said, oh, no, that's not the reason. It's this and this. So then I made another video explaining why I think it was the case, because of this phenomenon that I have experienced myself, where you perceive pitch differently, and depending on how sound waves bounce around in your head and all that kind of stuff, and how you hear the sound, rather than it traveling to your ears or vibrating within your head and actually the origin being inside your ears. So yeah, I mean, with that video, again, I'm basing it on my professional background and my experience, and that's my opinion of what I think she is doing and why she's that consistently flat. And then somebody sent me a comment, and I think somebody emailed, and it is the same person from the comment, saying that they've got a history in studying lots of different things, but they're a musician as well, and they've studied about ears, and they link me to a particular paper. And again, it's trying to explain that no matter what your background is, you use your background to give your opinion on what happened. So, I mean, this person is still of the opinion that what I'm saying is wrong because they have a different background and they think it's something else that happened. And they've explained everything from their point of view. But my response was still, well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not changing my opinion, because I still think, given everything that you've explained, that we're not talking about a medical condition here, which is the thing that the person was explaining about, and a difference in pitch between one ear and the other ear, and that's why it's different. And they were talking about that and saying, they actually said, I don't think it's a medical condition. And then I said, but I never said it was a medical condition. I'm saying that the perception of sound is different. So the sound isn't different, it's the perception of it. And then, they said what they think has happened is the pitch of the backing has been reduced by 24 cents, and that's been played out of the monitors, and it shouldn't have been played out of the monitors. And I still think that they wouldn't be changing the pitch through the monitors. And I did say that my opinion is still the same, given everything that you've given to me, with all of the background that this person has, with the things that they've looked at and the different studies they've looked at. I didn't say it was a medical condition. And then they said, I think it's not a medical condition, but I didn't say that in the first place anyway. So it's very difficult, because even with all of that background, it's still an opinion. And I said the only way to get to the bottom of it would be to get the actual audio from the monitor and test that for pitch. And that's the only way that you can objectively say what happened. So you can't say that one person's wrong because what they're saying they thought happened is different to what you're saying. They're two separate theories. So that's just what it is. But it's very difficult for people to understand what an opinion is, that you're basing that all, on your experience, and that's your opinion. So if you have a different background and your opinion is different, it doesn't mean that that other person's opinion is wrong. It's just that you're coming from a different angle. But yeah, I mean, just talking musically, I don't think they'd risk changing the pitch of anything, regardless. So yeah, even if the argument is, that they've reduced the pitch because of problems with feedback, and you think, well, yeah, I don't know. I think it would just be too risky potentially to do that, because everything could go wrong if they're playing, well, in this case, if they're playing the detuned instrumentation through the monitors. But then what about the in-ear monitors? What if that's playing back the right pitch? So yeah, it can get very confusing once you start editing pitches live, which, yeah, I think is always going to be a bit dodgy. So anyway, that was it. But it all boils down to, irrespective of all of that, it boils down to an opinion and what somebody thinks is happening and why something happened. You can't prove it. I can't prove what I'm saying. That's why it's an opinion. As in, the person commenting can't prove it. They're just giving an opinion. So yeah, it's very difficult, because I've done 2 videos on it now, and people still don't understand what an opinion is. That because their opinion is different, it doesn't make the other one wrong. It's just they're both the same. They're just different opinions. So yeah, anyway, let's get out of Troll Corner, because it's not really something that I can spend any more time explaining, because some people get it and some people don't, unfortunately. Anyway, see you in a second. Rock! Bye-bye. And one thing that I will say, I'll just add it on quickly, is very much the attitude of the comment that I received was along the lines of, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So trying to say to me that, I know what you're saying, or you're trying to say, but you don't have the knowledge, and that's why you're wrong. But I'm saying I'm basing it on my experience as a musician, and I have actually heard this happen, and it's happened to me. So I think, well, I can definitely apply my experience to it if it's happened to me. So I think, well, yeah, if it's happened to you, then you have got experience, and you don't need knowledge of reading up about things if it has happened to you. So yeah, I guess this is the difference between reading about it, and I guess it's the same for loads of things, where you've got people who study something, but they're not actually very good at the thing, but they know everything about it. They're just not very good at it, because they've got the knowledge, but they can't apply that knowledge in a practical way. And you've got some people who don't have any of the knowledge, but they can do the thing to a high level. They've got great practical ability for applying all of the, the theory. But then again, you don't even need the theory. They just have a natural propensity for the particular task that it might be. So I would say that you get that a lot in music, where you've got some people who are great at applying it practically and have a natural ability for music and hearing pitch and being able to decipher, what's sharp, what's flat, and what might be happening in a performance. And then you have other people who aren't really musical, but they know all of the theory in the world. So then when you say to them, okay, let's have a jam, they'll say, well, what key? And you say, well, we'll just jam. We don't need to know what key it is. We'll just play with the music. And for them, that's an absolute no-go, because they think, well, I need to know the theory of what we're doing first before we even make a noise. Whereas I say, well, let's make the noise, because then we can match each other. But yeah, some people don't think along those lines. But anyways, I think it's this different part of the brain being used, and yeah, like I said, the natural ability to apply the theory to a practical situation. And maybe, yeah, some people can't really, I guess if you haven't experienced it yourself live, then, or even in the studio, then you can't really understand maybe the opinion that's being put. But it's just an opinion, so that doesn't matter anyway. You don't need to understand an opinion, because it's just an opinion. So anybody's entitled to, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So anyway, let's because we got into Troll Corner, we've run over a little bit. So oh no, hang on, what's going here? We've got two. Oh right, okay, I hadn't scrolled down in the messages, because it is at the bottom there. Oh, it says 7 minutes 20. Oh, okay, so Let's click on this, get that. I think I'm already zoomed out, but I'll check that in a second. It's this one. Let's see if the dude appears up on screen. There he is. He's saying ×1, which means zoomed out. Right, let me know what the levels are like with this. It's smashing stoner, funk, rock, jam, guitar, backing track in A Dorian. In brackets, 75 beats per minute. Few tempo fanatics. And this is from Now You Shred. Backing tracks. And the U is in capital letters. Right. Let's see what we hear this to begin with. Guitar works. I did that earlier. Can you hear this? So now, I mean, maybe all the pictures changed with about 30 seconds to go. I wasn't sure when it was going to end, but there it was. And that was smashing stoner funk rock jam guitar backing track in A Dorian, and that's 75 beats per minute. So that's from Now You Shred backing tracks at the YouTube channel. So there we have it. Now, right at the end there, I mean, I'm glad that I didn't actually. I resolved to the harmonic, and I was about to now play the harmonic on the 7th fret, and I just backed out of it at the last minute because I suddenly thought, hang on, no, because that's not going to resolve it, and I wanted it to resolve. So yeah, and I'm glad I backed out. And this is the thing about extemporization and being spontaneous. You can make all these little decisions, and just when you think about doing something that was about to be subconscious, but then you go, no, don't do that. It's going to. I want it to be finished. I want a full stop here, rather than not having one. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we had a Phil Jam for tonight. A bit of a long one, but a fun one. And there have been a couple of donations, so thank you for this, Sue, $9.99, and the message is, this might be one of my favourite Phil Jams, just what I was in the mood for tonight. So thank you for that. And Kyria Layson has donated $2 and says, so awesome, thank you. So thank you guys for tuning in and for the donations. You don't have to donate, but they are very much appreciated. I am going to be here tomorrow night with another video, Thursday interview with Jeff, Scott Soto, Friday video, Saturday live stream, Sunday video. So it's all kicking off. Just realised it's all kicking off this week. Yeah, so lots happening. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow night. And thank you for joining me tonight. I'll be live streaming on Saturday night, of course. Same time, same place, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So if you can make it then, that would be very much appreciated. That's where I will be. But all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!